Hi, I'm Kate with The Productive Teacher, and today we're going to play the word maker game with the IB word family. One-syllable words can be made up of an onset, that's any letter or letters that come before a vowel in a word, and a rime, that's the vowel and any words that come after it. All of the words in a word family have the same rime, but they can have different onsets. We are going to combine onsets and the IB rime to make words. As you watch the video, you can listen to me read the words, you can read the words along with me, or you can mute the video and read the words on your own. Let's get started. Bib. Bib is a word. Sib. Sib is not a word. Remember, the letter C makes the S sound before the letter I. Dib. Dib is not a word. Fib. Fib is a word. Jib. Jib is not a word. Remember, the letter G makes the J sound before the letter I. Hib. Hib is not a word. Jib. Jib is not a word. Kib. Kib is not a word. Lib. Lib is not a word. Mib. Mib is not a word. Nib. Nib is not a word. Pib. Pib is not a word. Rib. Rib is a word. Sib. Sib is not a word. Tib. Tib is not a word. Vib. Vib is not a word. Wib. Wib is not a word. Yib. Yib is not a word. Zib. Zib is not a word. Chib. Chib is not a word. Fib. Spelled like this, fib is not a word. Shib. Shib is not a word. Fib. Fib is not a word. Quib. Quib is not a word. Wib. Wib is not a word. Blib. Blib is not a word. Brib. Brib is not a word. Clib. Clib is not a word. Crib. Crib is a word. Drib. Drib is not a word. Flib. Flib is not a word. Frib. Frib is not a word. Glib. Glib is not a word. Grib. Grib is not a word. Plib. Plib is not a word. Prib. Prib is not a word. Slib. Slib is not a word. Smib. Smib is not a word. Spib. Spib is not a word. Stib. Stib is not a word. Trib. Trib is not a word. Scrib. Scrib is not a word. Shrib. Shrib is not a word. Splib. Splib is not a word. Squib. Squib is not a word. Strib. Strib is not a word. Thrib. Thrib is not a word. Great job. Let's count up how many words we made. We made 4 words in the IB word family. Great job. I will see you next time.